we knew that over 500 companies applied. So the announcement that several other companies have been appointed is not a surprise at all. It's something we were always aware of. Um, what differentiated us was that we got our approval way ahead of everybody else, which was October last year. And of course, we've clearly taken a lot of steps that is going to take most of them 4 to 6 months to get sorted out, if not even more. Of course, it's going to become a crowded market, which is not good. And we have expressed our views to NIMC on that. But their own argument is there is 64 billion to be spent. They now have the money, and well, 64 billion is not exactly a small amount of money. So even though it still looks like a crowded field, there's a lot of money that needs to be paid out. So I would say that it's a function of everybody making sure that they know what they are doing as the industry, metamorphoses or whatever is going to happen before all of us. I will like to caution everyone. There's a lot of talk going around about some people are registering, some people are doing this. Please, if you see anywhere where any private person is doing national ID, I will be the happiest person if you can take a picture and share with me so that we can separate a lot of some people have started, some people are doing this, some people are, let's deal with facts. So if any one of us has come across where they're doing enrollment and is not a government center, a normal NIMC center, please take a picture and share so that we can deal with facts. Having said that, what we have done is we have submitted a loan application. As you all know, we submitted those loans last August. We can confirm to you that the loan that NESAL is processing today were loans that were submitted in February of this year. And many of them are even not yet. So we know that we've achieved quite a lot. Now, as at today, 570 of them have been approved. And I believe that TGM Group has quite a large chunk of it, about 100 and something.
Yeah.
And what we're waiting for is cash backing against those approvals. I think a list was shared this afternoon.
Yeah.
For those whose cash have certainly entered their account. We're hoping that by tomorrow, the remaining will go ahead and enter. So the advantage we have as of today is that we have the means to go get started before anybody else, and it's as simple as that. Some people have been pointing to MTN. Once again, I would like MTN to call anybody and say, come and see our equipment. We're ready to deploy. They said they will order for those equipments will not arrive here until May next year. It's as simple as that. That is even if they place the order. So they just did press release to scare everybody, and people are getting scared truly. But we will keep pushing. The good news is that even the announcement has now even made CBN to prioritize our applications. So we're expecting that um, by middle of January, all our 1,500 applications would have been approved. They've prioritized it for us. So this development is also good for us. Um, the rest is now left to us as individuals to get good locations, make sure that we're properly set up. Nigeria is a big place. If you are physically located in Agege, it doesn't matter what they are doing in Victoria Island. There's no linkage. If you are physically in Ibadan, your market is Ibadan. So that sense that the market is about to finish or something can just not be correct at all. It can just not be correct at all. But it's best to answer specific questions and then clarify from there. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, so if I can reiterate what you are saying, and please, if you have questions you want to ask, we can begin to still put those questions together so that we can ask them. But I want to quickly do a capture of what he has said. He has said, we are, if you look at the list of approvals in the group, you see a number of companies approved. I think on that list that is making the rounds, we are about number 27, FSL is number 27. And FSL really is the only company that has done the extent of getting agents to have a coverage of Nigeria. So I think we're in a good place. They're in a good place as far as that is concerned. A lot of shops that are opening to do NIN registration today are not private companies. The only person that is empowered to do that now is NIMC themselves, NIMC themselves. If anybody else is found doing it, they are doing it without approvals. This is what I hear. So, and if it means that they're doing without approvals, it means you can take their picture, you can share. Okay, I hear that my audio is breaking. I hope it gets better. Sorry about that. I hope you can hear me clearly now. I think it's back now. Okay, thank you. So, so this just gives us an idea to say, don't panic. It's not all cornered yet. All the MTN is bringing 14,000 equipments are futuristic things. The people who applied for loans since February are the ones getting now. It means as far as disbursement from CBN is concerned, as far as getting people ready is concerned, we who are here in TGM and with FSL are ahead of majority. And once the clarion call is given for go ahead, then it will be easy to just simply go ahead. Okay. I'm sure the audio is good now. I'm still seeing bad audio. The audio is back. Please, if you are hearing me clearly where you are, can you please say I can hear clearly so that I know that the sound is back, or if I should change my source of internet? Loud and clear. Okay, thank you very much, Dachaba. Audio has improved now, it's back. Okay, thank you. So thank you very much. So essentially, we're in a good position. We are right on time. As of today, 69 names were released from our group. So from our group is about 280 people or thereabouts. On that group, 175 have been approved. Out of the 175 that has been approved, 69 have been cash backed. It means they either have gotten an SMS where they need to click on a link to accept the money, accept the loan, and then fill a guarantor form, get their invoice together and submit. We have 69 people this morning, and we expect the balance of 100 plus people to be done tomorrow or before this week is over as well. Okay, we expect those to happen before this week is over as well. So let's not panic. Now, reality is, even after you have gotten the money, there are a few more milestones. There's a milestone of collecting your equipment. There's your milestone of being approved to go and either function in IDP, which is the place that people can do now. And there's the approval for ensuring that you can go ahead. I'd like Mr. Baker said, if you can talk us through the what next. So the loan gets backed up and approved. What do we do next? The SMS comes in, it doesn't come in, but our name is on the list. What do we do next? And then when, are we expected to get the equipment? When are we likely to start this?
Over to you. So let me quickly talk about the IDP. Now, remember that this is supposed to be a World Bank sponsored project.
Yes.
And the reason why it's been dragging before now is because um, the COVID started one, and then the process became a little complex. And the last issue was the National Assembly needs to pass a bill accepting the World Bank loan before the money can be transferred to NIMC. And of course, it means that the National Assembly people started their own politics, and nobody was sure exactly when that bill was going to come out. Um, there is a new minister for digital economy who has direct access to the president. And the reason why all this new noise started is because he successfully got an approval to add 65 billion that NIMC needs into next year's budget.
Mm.
So more or less, they don't need to take the World Bank loan any longer. Now, before that approval, what was available was 1 billion that was available for if we deploy in IDP camps. But as of today, if we deploy in IDP camps, you can get paid. By January, they will allow us to start activating anywhere we are.
Okay.
And they now have the money to pay. At least as at this afternoon, I saw the confirmed communication regarding that part. So, which is another good news. So it means that wherever we've activated by January, we can start attending to the public. But it won't be before January. So
So
just to clear that,
even if you got credited, we cannot attend to the public yet.
if you get credited today, the only thing you can do is operate out of an IDP camp. But January is just 2 weeks away. So if you get credited today, you'll be able to receive your equipment by middle of January, and that will be just enough time, when the money that NIMC is going to be paying us is going to be ready. So the timing for us is just perfect.
Okay. So somebody's asking, are people still bound by geographic locations?
Yes.
So are they going to choose new geographies, or is it the geography that they chose at the beginning? Or what binds them now?
Yeah, we've explained before that the loan application is not the same as your NIMC, NIMC setup. When you submitted for your loan, you said, I want to operate out of Ibadan. So NESA assumes that that is where you've chosen to operate out of. But that has nothing to do with NIMC. Okay. Now, if after your loan approval, you now decide that Ibadan is not okay for you and you want to go to Ogbomoso, it means that when you are now submitting your location approval to NIMC, you will now put Ogbomoso. And then NIMC will, approve it. They are not the ones that gave you the loan. Their own is, this is where you said you want to operate. But what you will not be able to do is once you submit your location to NIMC and that location is activated, you cannot wake up the following morning and decide that, I'm tired of Ogbomoso, I want to go to Ibadan. It's the moment you leave Ogbomoso, it will stop working.
So people can still.
So I've said it in the past, there's a window of changing location after your loan has been approved.
Okay. So location can be changed after loan is approved. Somebody's asking as well, some of us are on the list that was sent of 69 people. Their names are on the list, but they have not gotten any SMS.
They don't need to wait for SMS. We've sent the link that they can use to accept. They should follow the link, enter their BVN, and they should be able to accept. They should follow the link, download the invoice, or use the template and create an invoice, sign the guarantor form, and take it to the national office.
Okay, if the link says that the BVN number is incorrect, what do they do?
Yeah, so the only people that we expect that their BVN is not going to be accepted are the people who still don't have cash backing.
Okay.
That's what we expect. if there are people that there's something wrong with their BVN, we know of 2 cases from the last disbursement where at the beginning some people didn't think this was a terribly serious thing, and then they put their somebody else's BVN instead of their own, for whatever their reason is. Now they've been approved. They're trying to enter their original BVN. Of course, it's not going, even though it's their name that is there. So clearly the system is rejecting them. What Nestle has told us to do is to write a letter and explain, such circumstances, and they will look into it. But it's a very tedious one. The 2 from the last set were still at it. Whether there are now a lot more people who have such issues, until they come up, we don't know. But we have to treat it on a case by case.
So for those whose names are on the list, if they feel click the form, they should be able, the BVN should go if their BVN have no problems.
Yes, the 69 we sent this
Somebody
afternoon.
is saying, how can we be credited, but we have not gotten any alert? What does that mean? That we have been credited, we have been cash backed, but there's no alert in the bank. There's no money in the bank.
No, cash backed means there is now money in your account already.
In NASA?
Yes, it means that the money is already in your account. You may not have access to it, you may not see it, but it's there already.
Okay, so for all
those 69 people, there's money sitting in their account as at this afternoon.
Okay.
So the process we've described of accepting, submitting invoice, signing guarantor form is what they will now enable them to access the money.
Okay. Can they use the same guarantor they used in opening their accounts?
Anybody can guarantee. It's not a...
Yeah, okay.
It's a very administrative thing.
Okay. So what's the lead time between my account is credited and collecting equipment?
I've just told you. What we're working towards now is so first and foremost, even NESA wants to work with us and get everybody credited in the next few days, latest next week, so that by middle of January, we can deliver everybody's equipment to them.
Okay. Someone is asking, what about those people who have not been interviewed? Can they still go ahead and be interviewed?
Yes, so we have a total of 1,500 applications. 570 is approved as of today. We are fairly sure they will approve the remaining, but that's going to be in January. So if you haven't invited for interview, just know that yours will come. You won't get your equipment in January. You're probably going to be getting your equipment in February, but you will still be ahead of others.
Okay. Okay. Then someone is asking that, he wants to understand, what are we built to do? Is it a duplication and extension? What are we doing by the way of registration since about 10 years now? I think person is not clear on what NIN is about. I think there was a registration that some people did in 2007, but I think this is about... Hello. Someone is asking if this registration is an extension of registration that was done 10 years ago.
Okay. I personally got involved in National ID as a project in 2006. So I've been involved in this for 15 years now, or thereabout. In 2009, the National Identity Management Commission was formed. Before then, it was called the DNCR. When NIMC was formed in 2009, a new era of registration commenced, and every registration that was done before then was cancelled. In actual fact, there's the famous um, issue that Obasanjo canceled a contract with a French company because they varied the contract after they had been paid.
Mm.
Um, but anyway, so the present one we're working with now started in 2009, and they started issuing what we call the national identity number. Now, initially, it was supposed to be what was called a multi-purpose card. So those who got cards in those days, they have a chip on it. And if you look at the back, you will notice that it has MasterCard on it. So it's what is called a GMPC card. Now, the problem with the GMPC card is that it's not cheap, it's very expensive. And so between 2009 and today, I don't think it's up to 1 million GMPC cards that the government has been able to issue to people. Um, but it doesn't invalidate any registration that has been done since then. Now, part of what has happened is um, after realizing that Nigeria cannot fund a GMPC card for everybody, they switched to issuing that long paper for now. And that is what a lot of people have. When the new government came, they started what is called harmonization, which is they started combining BVN, the telco database, driver's license into one single database. And that is the reason why when the new government came, there were about 8 million records. Between then and now, there are about 40 million records. Most of those new records are actually BVN, because what they did was that everybody that has a BVN, they now moved your data, your BVN data, and moved it to the national identity database and used it to generate a national ID number for you. So if you have a BVN today, you already have a national ID number. And then the only thing you need to do is to go and validate it and get it printed out for you. So if you did anything 2009 till date, is the same registration. But Nigeria is 200 million of us, in quotes. There are 40 million records, so we still have 160 million records to go. What we should all keep in mind is most of those records are for children less than, whether it's 16 or 18 now. I think it's 18 or probably 16, I don't know. So national ID is from birth, while BVN is from 18 years. And so no matter what, anybody that is less than 18 is not likely to have a national ID number. And that's where majority of the unregistered ones are going to be. So, but that's an attempt to explain what the whole thing is all about. Now, what is causing all this rush? And that is where my own personal confidence is coming from about this whole project. A law was passed in 2018. It's called the Compulsory Use of National Identity Number. It is that law that everybody is now trying to comply with. And that's why you cannot get your international passport, you must go and get NIN. You cannot use your phone, you must go and get NIN. You cannot do JAM, you must go and get NIN. So that law is now what is being implemented. And that is what is going to force everybody to go and get their national ID number, including somebody that has just been born. So whether that money is going to be spent is not the issue. It is how much of it is going to come to us. That is the only question at hand. That's one. I've also taken time to explain in the past. Take the telcos, for example, now. What they are required to do is everybody that has a national ID number must link it. Everybody that has a phone must link their national ID number to their phone. But they must go somewhere and do that linkage. And so the telcos must pay. This afternoon, we've gone into an agreement with one of the telcos, and they said they want to pay us 100 naira to be linking their customers. And we told them, no, we cannot take 100 naira. They should pay us 300. We're negotiating. We're sure we'll come to some sort of agreement with them. Most likely we're going to end up with maybe 150. But what I'm trying to say is that that payment is in addition to the one that NIMSI will pay. So there's going to be a lot of extra income, a lot. When JAMB now says you must get your national ID number before you can do JAMB, they must go somewhere and link. That linkage, we call it verification, is ironically where the real money is. Because if you go somewhere and say, this is my national ID number, they must verify that you are the owner of it. And that process of verifying, somebody has to pay for it. That is the real business, not even enrollment. You enroll only once. You can verify almost every day for the next 3 years. And every instance somebody must pay. So let's not have a limited view of what this is all about.
Okay. Somebody's asking, how are they going to be trained on how to use the equipment and all of that? When will the training happen? How will the training happen?
So training is in 2 layers. The most important part of it is hands-on training. Recall that NIMSI did some structured training some weeks ago, which is the trainer session. When you are being activated, there's something that we call test enrollment. So during that test enrollment, you will more or less simulate an enrollment, and you'll be required to do it about 10 times. So if you successfully, do what we call a test enrollment up to 10 times, then you will be switched into what we call production. But that process of doing 10 test enrollment is hands-on training. Remember that is a software. It's not as if you need to go and read book and be learning what is a computer, what is a mouse. You must know how to take picture, make sure the picture aligns, enter people's data. So once you do it 10 times, that's the practical training you need. And then you continue from there. The other training is ethical training, which is going to be done online after you have gone live. So you'll be sent documentation that says, if you get tempted and collect 1,000, 2,000 from people under the table, the day they catch you, nobody will discuss with you. They just shut you down. And I'm begging everybody, please, there's enough money to be made. Don't get tempted when you eventually start with all those, people will always come and offer you money. It's a big problem. That's why centers have not been approved till today, because NIPSI doesn't want a situation where they will just wake up and then front page news, punch news. NIPSI is collecting 2,000 from people in Igbo markets. They won't say it's one agent. And then everybody will be running up and down. Who is the person? How are they collecting the money? People are doing it, but I can tell you, I was explaining to you about 3 weeks ago, one of our partners in Kano, Busy Aminu.
Yeah.
He has a boss, and we kept explaining to him, hold on. He found a way to get NIN slips and started pre-registering people. He didn't know they were monitoring him. He was in police station till 10:30 p.m. If it's not because of me, he would have slept in police station that night. Today, now nobody needs to warn him. So it's very easy to get tempted. Everybody's anxious. People want to avoid crowd and all of that. But like we keep saying, for example, we want to go to private schools and have a structured arrangement with them that NIMSI will approve. Now say, look, if we go to private schools, this is how much each private operator will pay the students that we enroll. It will be an extra money to the one that they will pay. But the way we must do it is we must sign an agreement with NIMSI. They are aware, so that if anybody goes and do news item the following day, they will be on standby to defend it. That's their own worry. Okay. So let's work closely together. Let's not work under the table. There's more than enough opportunity for everybody. Ironically, there's more money to be made from telcos today than anywhere else.
Mm. Okay. So somebody's saying, can we first of all go to IDP camp first and then return to our local government later? And our area of coverage, is it a local government or a state?
The area of coverage is local government.
Mm.
You can't cover an entire, you can't move across an entire state. Yes, if you are activated in an IDP camp now, you can decide that you want to relocate later.
Okay.
IDP is treated as a special project.
Okay.
So you can move, you can we actually have somebody who left Abuja and went to Jos to go and do IDP.
Okay.
Once he's through with whatever he's doing in Jos, they will disable his Jos setup and he will come back to Abuja and continue his business in Abuja.
Okay. Some people are saying that when they get to the bank is not collecting their guarantor form and their invoice. They are asking them to go and wait until they get alert first.
Yeah, that's what we just said. We sent you a list of 69 people.
Yes.
That we know that as at this afternoon, there's cash in their account. They are working on it.
Okay.
So when they say go and wait for alert, they are saying go and wait. The cash is not yet in your account.
Mm.
But they are working on it. I'm sure they will always tell you they are working on it.
Okay. So everybody who is on that list can comfortably go back to NESAL now and submit their documents, knowing that there's
69 we sent to you this afternoon, yes.
69. I've shared the 69 with them. They know the names.
Mm.
Now.
And the rest, we're hoping that tomorrow they'll be through with what they're doing. They're also prioritizing it.
Okay. Okay. So somebody is saying that okay, there are many other questions about operations. I think we can save our operations questions till later. So I have my NIN slip. I have my own personal NIN slip that I did late last year. So it's possible for people to have NIN slip. It's not anybody who has done their registration who did it for one reason or the other will have already done it. Okay, like he said, about just 40 million people that already have NIN numbers. There's 160 million to go.
Let me quickly also explain that further. Now, what I've said is, if you already have a BVN, it's likely you already have a national identity number. However, you will still be required to go to a center and print out your slip. So now that process of going to print out your slip, that agent is still going to get paid as if you are doing a fresh enrollment. So even though there are 40 million records already, most of those 40 million are still going to be paid for in the process of printing out slips for them.
Excellent. Amazing. That's very good. Now, there's a question that is popular here. What happens to someone whose name is on the list, but the link keeps saying BVN does not exist? Then go to NESAL.
No. We've said it. The reason why he's saying BVN does not exist is because there is not yet cash in your account.
No, say their name is on the list. Their name is on the list. On the list.
No, remember that we've sent 2 lists to you.
Yeah.
The first list we sent was for 170 people.
I didn't share that list.
Okay. So now the one that, so if you didn't share that list, that means a lot of people that are not yet, approved are trying.
Okay.
The second list we now shared with you is that out of that 175, there's a 69 that we know that as at this afternoon, the cash has entered their account. So you have a total of about 200 and something people. 175 has gone through. 69 have the money in their account as of today. The remaining 100 and something should get that money before the end of this week. And then the remaining people will get their approval in January.
Okay, very good. Somebody's asking that, do they still need an office since there's a mobile unit? And
that's a good question.
And can they get 2 mobile units instead of 1 so that they can be on the road? As one of them said, he has lost his office because he was only able to pay for 3 months?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because there is now mobile, you are right that the requirement for an office is not that strong. Underline that word, that strong.
Mm.
You still need somewhere to operate out of. You cannot operate out of your home. So when a mobile unit is approved for you, you must still have an office. The only difference is that, in a center, you must have public toilets, you must have waiting area and all those kind of things. But since you are now going to be moving out, some of those requirements will no more be emphasized on. All right. But you must have somewhere you operate out of. They must be able to trace you to a location
Mm.
before you can be approved.
Okay. Someone is saying here, what should I do if I haven't been called or sent SMS for interview, but I did my training and got my name on the general file solution list? That's on the initial TGM list. So the person's on the list, hasn't been called for interview, has done everything else. I think you can just go to the national office.
No. There's no point.
Okay.
If we have not seen your name, if you have not gotten SMS, just calm down, be prayerful, and expectant that you will also soon be called.
Okay.
What we can assure everyone is that we submitted everybody's name.
Okay.
We've shared the names of everybody that we've submitted. And we are assuring everyone that we will not rest until they approve for everybody on our list. Of course, God helping us. We've been lucky so
Yeah.
far,
Yeah.
and we trust that God is on our side. And we will just keep pushing until everybody on our list is approved.
Okay.
Um, but
Thank you.
we can't do more than that for now.
Some people say they've paid to open an account number, but their account number has not been released. They've saved, but they don't have account number. How
You
would
mean
they
with
get money?
Nessa?
Yeah. That they
Well,
can they get money without their account, without knowing their account number?
they don't know the account number doesn't mean the account does not exist.
Sure.
It's there.
Sure. Okay. Now, so I think many of the other questions are they're within the ballpark of the same questions. I think we can gradually bring it to some kind of wrap soon. So let's be very clear. And I think Mr. Bigger said, I think FSL has been very lucky. I think TGM has been extremely lucky. I think we have the highest number so far of approved. So
Honestly, I don't know how you people did it, but I give it to you honestly. I
so
give it to you. I was surprised that you got that many approvals.
yeah. So in this first set of batches, we have everybody who is in the group that says first and second batch is on the list of approvals. So the first set now are the people whose name showed on the 69. If your name is there, it means your BVN will work. If your BVN is not working, it means there's something wrong with your BVN.
Exactly.
Yeah. So someone says, you recall that you charge us not to click any link, not directly sent to us individually. It's still the same thing, but now there's a list of 69 names who can click the link if they have not gotten the link. If you are not on the list, don't bother, just wait. Someone says, are the banks approved to register persons on NIN? Will bank customers come to us or do banks do the verification?
Yes, just like the telcos, the banks have also been mandated to add national ID to every bank account number. So what some banks did, they used that mandate to secure approval from NIMC that they want to be giving in to people in their centers. Of course, NIMC is not paying them. They're using it to sell market. So Zenith got approval. GT have some centers. UBA got approval recently. So if the whole idea is if you have an account holder in some of their branches, you can go there and get your national ID. Of course, we are aware that some of their staff are taking advantage of it. They are collecting 2,000 naira from people. You go to the branch and go and do the registration. We're still in Nigeria. But it is not a commercial arrangement. NIMS is not paying the banks for that. The banks are using the cover of compliance to do whatever it is they're doing.
Somebody says he wants to go to IDP camp. How does he get approval to go for IDP camp? And there's an idea brought by NIMSI and network providers about reprinting. How do we get to overcome that? The Android POS machine we use for mobile banking too. I don't know what that means. But can they go to IDP?
Yes, anybody that wants to go to IDP can go today. We've shared the procedure, identify the IDP, take your equipment there, send us the details, and we send it to NIMSI. You get activated. I think we activated about 7 centers today in IDP camps. So that's an ongoing activity as we speak.
I understand that there are some IDP camps in Lagos.
Well, well, technically yes. I won't go beyond that. Technically yes.
Okay.
We're still in Nigeria. If you can be creative, you can, get things done. So all this story that you are hearing about, some people are already registering and things like that. People are being creative about it. We are just here to guide and do it in such a manner that it doesn't get you into trouble.
So if they want to get approval for IDP, what do they need to do? They need to let us know, and then we let you know. How does that work?
Yes, they'll send. We shared an IDP link. We shared a link and said anybody that wants to do IDP, please go and fill this form.
Yeah, but they need to first of all wait to get their equipment, isn't it?
Yeah, they need to get their equipment, and once they get their equipment, now if you get credited tomorrow, you cannot get equipment until middle of January. The only equipment that we're deploying today are the first batch.
Okay.
That the first 190, and I think it was just one person that was under your list. So those are the people that we're sending equipment to as of today.
Yeah.
But everybody else will get their equipment in January.
Okay. They said national office said that they're on strike currently.
Oh, that's true. It is actually not NESA. It is NIPOST.
Okay.
NIPOST staff are on strike, and NESA is operating out of the post offices.
Okay. Okay. And then
hopefully it will be a long drawn issue.
And then the money for the equipment will be deducted from the account automatically, yes?
Yes.
And
after you submit your invoice.
The loan amount approved is 4.2. The amount for equipment is 2.99, and the amount of disbursed is 1.284 thereabouts.
Yes.
Okay. So so once people get their somebody's asking me for the IDP enrollment link. Iwe Martins, I'll send it to you. I'll get it and then send it to you. So that you can enroll for the IDP camp. I think we've covered most of it. Thank you very much, Mr. Bickerstedt. I think it was good. At least people can know that all the opportunity is not taken. Registration is one thing. Verification is another thing. All the people that are planning to come into the game will need another 6 months lead time to be able to really get into the game. We are technically 6 months ahead of everybody else, so there will be plenty of opportunities for us to tap into. As of today, we have 175 people approved within TGM group. 69 have been disbursed, and we expect the balance of 106 or thereabouts to happen in the course of this week. Once the alert is done and you have done your guarantor form, submitted your invoice, and gotten that through it will take us another 3 to 4 weeks to get our equipment, and then work can start. And it's not late. Okay, so I think that's it in a nutshell. Someone says, what will happen to deadline given by government? The government has moved their deadline to February 9, and I'm sure they'll move their deadline again. I don't know if Mr. Bickerstedt has any comments on that.
Yes, I've already mentioned it. Um, Somebody said, well, everybody's running around. This time last year, everybody was running around because of jam.
True.
So it is not about telcos. There is a law. It has 77 instances where you must use your national ID. In actual fact, very soon, for you to enter bus, interstate, you must provide your national ID. That's what the law says. For you to board a plane, of course, that's what the law says. For you to get a birth certificate, there are 77 instances. So it is not a telco issue. The banks have already been given mandate. Driver's license have announced. There's nothing, the way that law is done, there's nothing you can do in Nigeria very soon if you don't have a national ID number. So it's not like a one instance situation. It's something that for the next 3 years, you just won't be able to do anything without one.
Mm.
I've said it. That is where my own confidence comes from. And I've also taken time to explain that what we're discussing now is enrollment, which is, first of all, register them into the system. That is one instance. There is now 77 instances of verification that now need to take place, and each one of them is going to be paid for.
Mm.
So this opportunity is huge. That is one. You will recall that when we had a first conversation, the conversation that we had was not just on national identity.
True.
It's on financial inclusion.
Yes, sir.
Because it took time to explain that, look, by the time everybody is now forced to get a national ID number and all those other things that come with it, it's going to restructure Nigeria's economy and create an entirely brand new set of opportunities, which we're definitely going to make available to everyone that is working with us. So this is just a tip of the iceberg. We're not knee-jacking because the telcos are talking. I've been in this for 16 years and I'm definitely not tired. In actual fact, I'm extremely excited because the opportunities are huge. We're about to do a watershed in Nigeria where people will say, there was a time. It's not like what we're doing now. We're applying for 5 million naira loan. At least the application was done online. There was a time in Nigeria you cannot even imagine such a thing happening. But I'm telling you that give it another 1 year, 2 years. You won't even need to leave your home. You will do everything online. You won't need to go for any interview. You won't all this nasal office. They will just be totally remote registration points. And for the records, part of the agreement we have with NESA is that they will be using our locations. So those of you that are not planning to set up centers, I encourage you, set up. NESA is going to be using our centers to disburse loans to others.
Mm.
There's 1.2 trillion that government wants to push out into the system. And as you can all see, the NESA offices are not enough.
Mm.
Those are the real opportunities that the telcos can have. It has nothing to do with them. I wish every one of us all the best. As an individual, this is not a get rich. This is a life commitment um, for us to deal with poverty in our country. So whatever we do, we will have your interest at heart. We don't have favorites. We're just interested in dealing with poverty in this country. Let's all be expectant. Let's all be hopeful. Let's not panic. Let us not pass false information. Let's deal with facts. We will continue to do our best to ensure that all of us that have partnered with us will have a good story to tell in the near future. God bless you all.
Thank you, sir. I think in closing, people are talking about the possibility of a lockdown happening soon. I think some of these things have become an on and off button that we'll probably find around us from time to time. Let us comply and then make the most of every opportunity that presents itself our way as well. Thank you very much, Mr. Shola. Thank you.
Okay then. Good night.
Okay, well done, everybody. Thank you very much for showing up today. I'm sure it's a lot better than at least we can get to, hear, ask a few questions, listen to, get heads up on what's happening, and then we can retain our calm and comfort, knowing that opportunity is not taken away from us. The Bible says, "He that believes does not make haste." The land is not finishing. Opportunity doesn't finish. We can, we still have plenty to do and plenty in our horizon. And we're ahead. We're ahead. There's a lot of noise. People are taking advantage of the system. People are charging the legal fees. You can take their pictures and send. Everybody that's authorized to do anything now is authorized to do at IDP camps. I'm sure we'll have enough to do as well. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a beautiful evening. Till we catch up again, maybe you want to learn something new, find out how this works. So we'll come your way again. Have a beautiful evening. Thank you, everyone. Good night.